works over at Criterion Networks, and he is the Director of Cloud Platform with Criterion. Please make him feel very welcome. This is Pramod Venkatesh. Welcome to the stage. Come on up.
Hey, thank you folks. Welcome to the session. What we are trying to present today is basically, I'm sure most of you have heard about Cisco SD-WAN, and what we want to ensure is using our platform and our tool set, we want to be able to help you to accelerate not only your customers' SD-WAN experience, but also your own SD-WAN experience using our platform, right? So let me talk about basically what are the current challenges which the customer face today, right? So either if you're a partner or a customer who is actually implementing Cisco SD-WAN, one of the few important things to think about is how do you actually get the hardware, right? How do you ensure that you have the different hardware to try out the VHs and the CSRs or the ISRs, integrate them and try them out. The second thing is how do you get a POC lab, right? For most of us, we are trying out Cisco SD-WAN, it's brand new, right? And you want to try out without invoking a lot of different physical equipment inside. And the third thing is, if you are a partner or if you are a customer going forward with Cisco SD-WAN, how do you ensure that you get trained talent, right? How do you ensure your operational engineers actually are able to get good talent around the Cisco SD-WAN itself? And then of course you have different use cases which you want to drive from an enterprise SD-WAN. Obviously you may be getting different use cases from other parties as well. So how do you ensure that you get that from them? So keeping all this in mind, what Criterion Networks has done is we have built a platform to help you accelerate all these processes, right? So in essence, each of these different steps wherein which we have your customer need where you kind of focus on, then you talk about what are the use case from an SD-WAN perspective you want to focus on. Then we have the customer enablement to help you to accelerate your SD-WAN learning programs, and then finally you do a proof of concept, and finally you do a production pilot, and finally taking you to the production. In each of our steps, essentially we have different cases and different platforms and obviously different products which we help you to accelerate, right? So from a use case, we have scripted demos, we have workshops and learning labs to help you in the customer enablement scenario. Then we basically have proof of concept library and a POV designer platform, which I'll be talking a lot of, and it's a pretty cool product. And then we have what is called as an easy migrate option, wherein which once you do a POC, how do you actually take these configuration into your production deployment, right? So all these different products from our platform essentially helps you to accelerate the overall solution, right? So we basically have what is called as a sandboxing environment, right, from our platform, where you can spin up pre-canned topologies to try out your SD-WAN setup. Then you basically have a designer platform, which I'm going to be talking a little bit more, wherein which not only can you build your own custom topology, you can actually connect to your physical equipment which is there on your site, right? So wherein which the control plane essentially is hosted by us, and the physical VHS is actually present in your setup. And then we basically have a couple of workshops, and obviously we have primer learning labs and sandboxes to help you in your learning needs as well, right? So in a sense, what are the essential offerings we have is, you have the ability to design custom POV topologies. So that means you can actually bring up, drag and drop Cisco SD-WAN elements, and you can actually sit with your customer if you are a partner, or if you are an actual customer, you can actually use this as a platform to validate your policies before deploying. You can actually use an ability to suspend and resume your topology so that you don't get charged during that setup. You can actually hibernate your entire WAN topology without worrying about the cost. You can actually integrate with CSR, ASA, and a couple of other Cisco images so that you can actually build a complete data center and a branch network environments. And then you can actually attach physical VHs to the control plane, right? And the beautiful thing is you are able to introduce not only just that, you're able to introduce latency and jitter, because for emulating a WAN network, you want to try out different policies. You need to have your latency and jitter to basically ensure that your policies are there. So you can dynamically introduce those elements directly on the platform itself and try out. So if your MPLS is 100 milliseconds latency, you can just set the 100 milliseconds and see if your policy is working or not, right? And then what can you be using this for? You can use it for proof of concepts, proof of value. You can use it if you're a partner. You can use it for your sales enablement. You can actually use it for validating your policies if you're a customer before deploying it into production, because a lot of the people are asking, how do we ensure that the policy which you're applying centrally is not going to break my setup, right? This is a platform where you can actually use this. And then you have application testing as well, because now you can deploy your application, introduce the latency, put your policies, and check whether it will work, right? So, and without using any hardware infrastructure, right? And it's completely hosted by us, right? So I'm going to just quickly run you through a demo of how the entire thing works. So here what we're going to do is, we're going to design a simple control plane, and then we are going to be creating a couple of virtual V-edges, and then we are going to be clicking on a physical V-edge which will actually peer that, and we'll be able to reach out to that, right? So hopefully this should start. Yeah. So in essence, what we want to show you is, once you have it in your platform, right? So you kind of log into our platform, right? And once you have this, you have a concept of My Designer, and now you basically create a template, right? And once you create a template, you can now have all these different elements, right? So you have traffic generators, networking, transports, right now I'm creating a gold, right? With 2 V-edges, right? And then I'm actually putting a router. I'm clicking on a desktop image to emulate, right? And then I'm putting all the control plane elements for Cisco SD-WAN, right? And once I'm done, I'm just kind of connecting all the devices, right? And then you can see the interfaces getting created dynamically as you're clicking this. So that means the introduction is completely simple. And once I do that, I'm actually selecting enable external connectivity, which will help that you can actually connect physical V-edges to this environment, right? And I'm also configuring all the V-edge devices right here, which means you don't need to go into an SSH terminal at all. That means you're actually doing it right on the portal itself, which makes it very easy for you to use. And if you look at it, you don't need to configure any of the IP addresses or any of those things, because all of those things are basically taken care of us. And if you know a thing or two about Cisco SD-WAN, one of the important things, which is a complex part, is bringing up the control plane, because you need to have all these certificates and everything else. Those things are essentially automated by us as well. So that means